Hey everybody, today I'm going to take a look at another Tomy Pocket game. This time it's Chinese checkers. This is the first Tomy Pocket game that I'm going to be reviewing for more than one player. Let's look at the instructions at the back. It says go to your corners and come out thinking, get it, with Pocket Chinese checkers, the traditional game of the Orient. To play you need 2 or 3 people. Then you choose your favorite colors and line up 10 of your pegs in a triangle. Advance your pegs 1 hole at a time in the direction of the grooves around each hole. You may jump over your own or your friend's pegs, two pegs at a time, but never jump over 2 pegs at a time. Sorry, skipped a line. If pegs are lined up with holes in between, you may jump over the series of them. You may also jump up to the borderline of the other colored areas, but you may not move into them. The first one to move all 10 pegs into their opposite colored side wins. And you can see this was originally $1.69. How cool is that? Has a 1975 copyright year on it. And this is the unit in the original packaging. I also have one out. Now, typically when you see these things, you know, they have this nice star shape. You have 12 of each colored pegs, but it says them to do 10. And so basically this is the setup. I have another one right here. So I have 10, so it has to extend a little bit. And it has to be this way because the way they set up these triangles, like the bottom row, it kind of doesn't look like it's part of the triangle, but it is. So you can't have colors right next to each other. So I couldn't put the red over here because these pegs, this blue and this yellow, are occupying what would also be in the red triangle. And you can see some extra pegs on the side, which is cool because you'd probably lose some. So what do I think of this Tomy Pocket game? So we got a lid. All you have to do is take it out. Then you play your game. One thing is that these pegs are really tiny. It's a good thing they gave you extras because you probably will lose some if you were a kid. You know, when I was getting ready to do this review, I was cleaning it up a bit and I accidentally bumped it and a bunch of the pegs went flying all over the place. And it took me a while to find them. So it's not very practical, like as a travel game, because if I was playing this, let's say with my sister in the car as kids, odds are at some point one of us would accidentally bump the board or the car would hit a bump and there goes a bunch of pegs. Now the bottom of this board, it's hard to see. That black is a styrofoam, like a spongy material. And if you could tell, some of the pegs sit higher than others because, you know, that styrofoam is starting to wear out. Also makes it hard sometimes to get your fingers, especially my big fingers. It's really hard to really, like, I want to grab this peg, but it's really hard to get it. So it's kind of impractical. And I think the board is a little smaller than a typical Chinese checker board. Usually the triangles sit completely outside the board. You don't have to share spots like you do here. It's cool for a novelty. I think it's kind of cute. If you're going to play Chinese checkers, you probably just want to get a regular board, you know, with the marbles or something like that. This, it's not very practical. This is also not very common. I think this one is somewhat rare. I'm going to guess it's worth about $15, give or take $5, including the shipping. Not quite sure on that. So usually at this time I rank the Tomy Pocket games I review, but I'm not going to rank this one because it's for 2 to 3 players and all the other ones are for a single player. So when it comes to like just 2-player or 3-player only Tomy Pocket games, I'm not going to rank them, but I will go over them. So it's one of these things where I say it's cool if you're a Tomy Pocket game collector, it's cool as a novelty, but as far as the practicality of it, it's a little impractical. You're probably better off just finding a regular Chinese checker board. But that's just what I think. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time on the next No Swear Gamer video.